Okay, if you just finished watching the videos that I posted for today's lesson, you should know that we are measuring customary units of length. So customary is what we normally use in the United States. Customary is inches, feet, yard, and miles. So I always say them in the correct order, smallest to largest. So we know that inches are the smallest, then feet, then yards, then miles. When you put them in this order, inches, feet, yard, miles, remember your benchmarks. The thumb, inch, foot, yard from shoulder to fingertips, and then mile is like running 4 times around the track. I'm going to draw this arrow that shows any time we go from a big measurement to a smaller measurement, you always multiply. So if I go from miles to yards, I'm going to multiply however many miles times the number of yards in a mile. If I'm going from yards to feet, I'm going to multiply. If I'm going from yards to inches, I'm going to multiply. Anytime I move up on this chart, I multiply. Now, we're going to practice with a few. So if I'm going to convert 4 feet and change it to inches, the first question I need to ask myself is, how many inches are in a foot? Okay, how many inches, the one I'm trying to find, are in a foot? I know that there are 12 inches in a foot, and if you don't remember, I did put an anchor chart on your lesson plans today. 12 inches equals 1 foot. So how many inches would be in 4 feet? So we have to multiply 12 times 4. We know 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. That tells me that 4 feet equals 48 inches. Okay, so let's go to this one. We're changing yards to feet. So let's look at our chart here. Yards to feet. We're moving up, so we need to multiply. Again, the first question you're going to ask yourself are, how many feet are in 1 yard? I know that there are 3 feet in 1 yard. And because I moved up from yards to feet, I know I need to multiply. So I've got 3 yards. I'm changing it to feet. And there's 3 feet in a yard, so 3 times 3 is 9. That tells me that 3 yards is the same as 9 feet. Okay, now let's try 4 yards, and we're going to change it to inches. So first let's look. We're going from yards to inches. Yards to inches. We're moving up on the chart. Again, we need to multiply. First question we need to ask ourselves, how many inches are in 1 yard? Okay, look at your anchor chart if you don't remember. It says there are 36 inches in 1 yard. In order to find out how many inches in 4 yards, again, we need to multiply 36 times 4. We know 4 times 6 is 24. We're going to add our 2 up here. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 2 is 14. Therefore, 4 yards is the same as 144 inches. Now, what I'd like you to do today, just for practice, is I'd like you to find something anywhere in your house that you could measure in inches. Measure it, write it down, write what the object is. Find another object, measure it in feet. Find another object that you can measure in yards. And I want you to change those. Let's say you found an object and it was 3 yards long. I want you to change it to feet, and I want you to change it to inches. Okay, so anything above there. If you measure something in feet, so let's say you found a stick out in the yard and you measured and it was 4 feet. I want you to change that to inches. Okay? And then with whatever object you find in inches, I want you to use your thumb, your benchmark measurement, and I want you to measure it with your thumb and see how close you get to the inches that you measured with a ruler. Okay? Be sure to email me, or when we Zoom, I want you to tell me what you found and what you did.